Retro 8-bit side-scrolling indie platformers have had a real resurgence over the last few years with varying degrees of success. Shovel Knight from Yacht Club Games is not only one of the best games in this genre in recent years, but stands up with the best side-scrolling platformers of all time. Shovel Knight is a game that feels immensely satisfying, fantastically crafted, and has a beautiful visual design and flair. It's available on PC, Mac, Xbox One, Wii U, 3DS, PS4 and Vita, so there's really no excuse not to play it. It clearly takes cues from classic titles like DuckTales, Mega Man and Castlevania, to name a few. You play as Shovel Knight, who is a blue knight in search of his partner. Shovel Knight sets out on a perilous journey to a foreboding tower to confront the evil that waits. Shovel Knight has become completely consumed by despair, and during this time the evil Enchantress has taken over the lands. Like most side-scrolling games, the story is simple and feels similar to the Mario games. Shovel Knight, however, has some beautifully crafted cutscenes that look vibrant and quite simply amazing. The campaign is hugely absorbing and entertaining with a wide variety of rich characters and wonderfully designed levels. Each level also has a boss to defeat that suits the overall theme of each world. Each boss is a member of the Order of No Quarter, and each feels drastically different in ability and personality. Each boss you come across has unique abilities and attacks that require you to learn and adapt your playstyle and approach it in order to defeat them. The bosses are fantastically designed and they all have a real sense of personality. The boss battles often reminded me of Dark Souls games due to the intense action that requires perfect timing and rhythmic combat. These boss battles can get incredibly challenging and certainly take practice and many runs to succeed. There are also many boss encounters that occur whilst making your way across the map. These battles are still challenging but not quite as tough as their main bosses themselves. The controls are accessible and easy to pick up from the get-go. I played the game on PC, so you have the option for mouse and keyboard, but I would strongly recommend using a controller if you have one. Shovel Knight can move left, right, jump, swing his shovel, and like DuckTales you can also perform a downward strike that can be used to break blocks, bounce off objects and attack enemies. As you begin to make your way through the campaign, you will start to unlock various relics that have abilities like fireballs and temporary invincibility. Shovel Knight has a surprising amount of depth in terms of upgrades. You can purchase new shovel abilities like powerful swing attacks. You can also upgrade your maximum health and magic, which are extremely useful when progressing into later stages. Aside from the array of items, Shovel Knight himself can also be upgraded, with health, magic, armor and weapon improvements available. Side-scrolling platformers like this require controls that perform well, and Shovel Knight does a great job of having pixel-perfect responsiveness. The stages become increasingly more challenging, and having good control is critical to succeeding. The game does get fairly challenging as you make your way through each stage, but it never feels unfair, and every time I died I could see where I went wrong. Shovel Knight takes plenty of trial and error, learning from my mistakes and mastering each section in order to progress. Every level has checkpoints placed throughout, which are vital and sometimes feel a little bit sparse, but this is great as it adds to the challenge. Interestingly, you don't actually have to use each checkpoint, and you have the option to smash them in order to gain more money. Your shovel is your primary weapon and is used to dig, smash and fight enemies in your way. I found that the downward strike was incredibly useful and helped me reach ledges in hidden areas. Much like Dark Souls, if you die, you drop all of your loot you have collected, but you get the chance to pick it up again on your next run. Shovel Knight also has a selection of hidden items that can be traded in for more coin. The game also has an abundance of secret areas, chests and collectibles like music sheets that can be traded in for coin in the village. The game encourages you to explore, often to reveal tempting items teasing you in perilous locations. The challenge of retrieving these items makes the reward even more satisfying. The presentation of Shovel Knight is visually striking, with meticulously designed levels that feel unique and genuinely absorbing. The levels do a great job of carefully introducing each new mechanic, and it all fits perfectly. Each level has an interesting theme, like ice, water, and the final bosses reflect the tone of each stage. The graphics use a pixel art style that feels reminiscent of NES games. Shovel Knight does a great job of capturing the essence and feel of classic titles on this platform, whilst having its own unique ideas. I want to also mention how brilliant the soundtrack is, with upbeat techno beats and atmospheric tunes that are incredibly catchy. Overall, Shovel Knight is quite simply one of the best side-scrolling platformers in recent years, and in my opinion ranks up there with the best of them. Not only does the game look and sound fantastic, it also plays well and has a surprising amount of depth. The level design is some of the strongest I have come across in a long time, and I appreciate the tight and responsive controls that are critical in a game like this. It's clear that this is a game that was carefully crafted with a huge degree of love and care, and it's easily one of my favourite games in recent years. I can't recommend this game enough, so if you haven't played it, you should go do so right now. In my opinion, Shovel Knight is a must play. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you next time.